therapy talk is absolutely phenomenal. You're not going to talk about me. You're not. Because my coworker keeps on talking about how my voice keeps on breaking. So.
Like, Kermit, is that you?
Wow. I am jeez. We are so excited to bring on our next guest, Markus Aurelyus. If I say that wrong, I do apologize. All right, next. Sorry.
Say it's Aurelyus. You say Aurelyus.
So I grew up getting my name butchered. I do apologize if I did butcher his name. But he is a Canadian soulful crooner who has a vocal stylings of the legends that came before him. Join us on the Clubhouse. Markus, please.
How is it? Wait, I say Aurelyus. He says Aurelyus.
It's Aurelyus.
Aurelyus.
Markus Aurelyus. It's named after a Roman emperor. Same name, different spelling. He was known as a philosopher in a time of war. He was one of the what they call like the last philosopher, or like the last philosopher. I forgot the name, but yeah, he. It was very interesting. It's funny. People are like, you need a stage name. You need a stage name. And then when I told them, like, well, this is what I picked, and people were like, I don't like it. And I'm like, it's exactly why I'm sticking with it. Like, fuck off. This is what I want.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I like it. Yeah.
So it's Aurelyus.
Aurelyus.
Yeah. Aurelyus.
Okay.
Yes.
Do like that.
Aurelyus. Yeah.
Aurelyus. Love it. Okay.
Well, let me say thank you for having me. Thank you. This is a pleasure and an honor. Shout out to Rico who just came up.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, y'all got big guests. Having a little me on here. Thank you.
Oh, stop. You are one of our international stars, so we very much appreciate you. Someone asked, why not Marcus Jackman of the Jackman Dynasty?
First of all, I don't know if y'all know who this is, but this is Tamar, right?
Uh-huh.
Tamar is a wonder down here and is a big part of the ballroom scene down here.
Yeah.
Amazing. Link up with the sister. Yeah. Hey Tamar. Absolutely. Tamar.
We gotta talk to her on the show.
Yeah, I grew up with Tamar, so Tamar. But yeah.
So look, let's get into it. So in 2020, you released your debut single, "Come Over."
Yeah.
Could you tell us more about it and the concept about it?
So, "Come Over." It's funny. What I like to say is, "Come Over" was an experiment. I started making music, or at least starting to put out music around, say, 2015. I was in a group with my cousins and kind of just getting comfortable writing and recording together. And the kind of music we were making, was still R&B hip hop, whatever. But through the years, I've been performing all over the city, and people are talking about like, so when are you gonna make like an R&B like sexy song? And at the time, I came out in 2013, but I hadn't really gone into the scene or anything as yet. And it was just an exercise for me to try to write something that felt authentic to me, but also, felt sexy to everyone else. So, I don't know. During those times, we was smoking a lot of weed. And and one night, I don't know what it was. I got an inbox from a producer who was like, "Hey, I saw that you put out something that you're looking for beats, whatever. We have an R&B. We're looking for someone to make like an R&B song with this track." And when they sent it to me, and I heard it, it was like, ooh, ding, 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 ding. I was like, "Oh, this is kind of sexy. Like, maybe, So I just wrote it, and honestly, I wrote what I thought was sexy. Anticipation. It had nothing to do with, let's get it down on the bed right now, It was, it literally like, what you doing? Nothing sexy, what you doing? Yeah, so, what you doing tonight? Like, oh, why don't you come over? Like, oh, okay.
We know where it was leading to now. Let's just
yeah, and which is why, like, yeah, I pushed a lot. And it was funny because after I wrote it and I released it, and people were like, yeah, I like it. Someone who had just transitioned was like, yo, I played this with my girl all the time. And we checked out that it wasn't gender specific. I never mentioned he or she, and I didn't even realize that, but they bigged me up for it. And I was like, I kind of like making music that could touch anybody. So
it did touch. It definitely touched. And by the way, big ups to us for having our bodies out tonight.
Look, it's summertime. Let us summer, okay?
Because I saw you in Toronto, because you live in Toronto, right?
Yes.
I saw him on his Instagram story, and he was just out in the park. He had, everything out and about, and I was like, okay, now. But go ahead.
When you have it, honestly, I just believe in being as comfortable as possible. If you are someone who is comfortable, always in a tracksuit or in a suit, do you. You find the suits that you like and you wear, and then you fuck us up.
Right.
If you feel more comfortable with your shirt open, whether you got a 6-pack or you got the ones, do it. Just own your style. I'm only now really getting into owning my look, my feel, So, yeah, this is my new thing. People, the older church folks I used to go to church with, they all have something to say about it. That's okay. Outside of that, I live my life. I live my life, and I try to, when I represent myself, try to be as authentic as I really want to be.
Right.
Yes. They always talk. So you speak of being comfortable in your own skin. What does body positivity mean to you? And also, how important is it to have plus size representation in what you do?
Cheesy story, right?
What cheese?
I have listened to all manner of musicians. Missy Elliott, I've seen the amazing things that she does. Busta Rhymes, all these things. I grew up in the time where there was a kind of creativity going on, especially in R&B and hip hop. And as much as I listen to like Luther Vandross and all those people too, like I'm a Trini boy. My family's Trinidadian, so I grew up on like good soca reggae. But I will tell you that my journey as a singer didn't start until I saw Ruben Studdard win American Idol.
Oh.
So I saw him beat, of course, a skinny white guy, got a big voice, he sang very well. But he went on that stage every week, and he sweat down, and he smiled, and he won hearts genuinely. And I remember I cried when he won, and everyone was so, excited. And I remember I cried thinking, like, I don't think I've ever cared so much about representation until that moment where I saw him, but I saw me. And I said, oh, I could actually do this, maybe, So representation is everything. Seeing, I believe that there is enough of us and enough outlets where there should be more representation of different people. You know what I'm saying?
Are you gonna cover? Are you gonna cover Ruben Studdard one day? I would love to hear you sing. Sorry.
Flying Without Wings.
Yes.
I hear that song and I'm literally like an X-Men floating now. So one day, absolutely is a goal to do like a real professional recording and yeah, and send it to him. Be like, you don't know me, but I know you. But Potty,
y'all are gonna collab one day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, y'all will collab one day. I do believe he's still in Alabama. Maybe, or
Ooh.
I don't know where he's at, but yeah. So
yeah. One day. But yeah, body positivity is really important. I think that what a trend is right now is people trying to turn body positivity into a sort of shaming, like body shaming, trying to turn the message over into like, oh, people just want to show your body for likes and clicks. First of all, even people who have abs and muscles or women who have, certain physiques, they get read down as much as they get loved. To show your body, to show parts of your body, to open up yourself to certain critiques takes a little bit of courage, because not everyone's gonna like you. You can have muscles down to that little, the ones that be like in your neck. You have all those muscles, people will still not be satisfied with what you look like. Body positivity has nothing to do with you. It has to do with how you feel about yourself. In this moment, I accept myself, how I am, and I love it. It's a journey. It's an everyday journey. Some days I feel like I look bigger than other days, and other days I'm like, I don't know, But it's a consistently telling yourself, I'm actually okay with what I look like.
Yeah.
And if I decide to show it, I decide to show it. You want to get mad? That's okay, but click like and comment.
And subscribe. By the way, like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube page, please, y'all.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So look, when you are not creating music, how does music show up for you in your life?
My family is musical, down to my nieces and nephews on my brother's side. He actually, every single one of his kids sing. They have like a family band where they sing at churches and whatnot. My whole family is music and music and food. If there's one thing we're gonna do, is gonna eat and we're gonna sing. And I love it. It's earlier you said life is hard. Life is hard, and not just for you. And even when I go to other people's shows in the city or supporting people, all the people you see up there dancing and singing and playing the instruments, life is hard for them too, So it's like an outlet, and I love that. I don't know. Even you can go shopping and a song plays, and you can actually see sometimes people like literally singing and rapping the songs with the. It's one of those things that like it just helps people get through to the next moment. So it helps me. It helps me get through.
Right.
Yeah.
That is so important. When you are creating music and pulling from your personal experience, how do you do so without ever sharing personal details about your life, such as dating and relationships?
I am only now getting into writing about my personal, outside of a song I have called Sirens, which I am releasing soon, which is a story about like police brutality, and I dedicated it to my my cousin who was trying to kill by police down here. I don't really talk about me a lot. I'll write stories. I like a good story-driven song. I might talk about experiences I've seen or heard, but me, I don't always put myself in it, and I'm only now going through that journey of like the uncomfortable, like reliving memories as I'm writing these things and understanding that when you release these, people are gonna be like, "Hey, that thing you talked about, like, yeah, that yeah, that happened." Like, yeah, so it's a new journey for me.
That's important. I feel like definitely, yeah. Because a lot of people have gone through things that you've gone through, and like Rico was saying just earlier, you just don't know who you can influence. So
yeah,
I think speak from you, because it's worth it. Your story is definitely worth it, for real. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna absorb that.
Soak it in, baby. Soak it in.
Yes.
So who are some of the musical artists that have influenced the vocal sound? I know you said Luther, Who else has been? Who else have you gone to school with for?
Let me tell you something. People don't like. I get the sound of today, you know, the Hers and the Jasmine Sullivans. Now, Jasmine is like in a place where she's powerful, but she can do the scale back, but really she's in with the runs and it's the you know, the school of Kimberell, you know, she's in that, you know, but she can power ballad it, she can go into the heights. I grew up with Cisco in my ear. So I grew up with, you know, Jodeci's and you know, really like Casey and JoJo, like just bawling at you. Like, you know, I grew up with the love of Carl Thomas. Carl Thomas, I think his voice is just amazing for me. Amazing to me. Joe too. Joe is like, you know, and all of these R&B people who are just exceptional. You know, say what you will about Brian McKnight and his recent stuff, but the voice is there and the voice has been, you know. I learned a lot. Boyz II Men actually was huge for me because I just thought like how did you get these talented people together? Like, how did they know that this was just going to work? Like these beautiful voices and everyone just played their roles and, you know, told beautiful stories through song. Like, I loved it. Yeah, Luther. You know what I love Luther for? I love his voice, but I love his presence. Luther Vandross was someone who could stand on the stage, sing nothing, and the crowd was still like, because he knew how to use space just as well as fill it, you know? Mm-hmm. And as soon as I started performing, I recognized, like, if there's a way for me to master this, yeah. Yeah. But of course I love, you know, Brandy and my best friend who's also a singer, he's like the school of Brandy, Mariah Carey, and very much, you know, he can flutter, but I am very much a power, you know, I identify with the John Legends and the, you know, I do. Right. But my music doesn't sound anything like these people, which is weird.
You bring up so many amazing male R&B artists. I think one of the best collaborations in history is The Best Man I Can Be off of The Best Man. That song was everything.
Woo! You know what one of my favorite R&B cuts ever is? In terms of duets, Deborah Cox and RL, We Can't Be Friends. I could literally listen to that. I literally just sit there and just like, man, it takes you somewhere. You know, shout out to Deborah Cox, Canadian sister. Let's go. Right. Yeah.
Based so much of your musical influences, describe an influence of your cultural background and your music and who you are as an artist today.
Yeah, I grew up, my family's Trini. So soca is very much in my blood, my veins. Carnival. It's funny. Even though I have a song named Carnival, it's not like traditionally like Trinidadian Carnival. It's more like clowns and monsters, you know, like like more like that. But I love soca and calypso and all of these things because they really brought me into the storytelling element of music. You hear whole calypso songs, it's literally just one big story with like a sexual innuendo, like chorus line, and then the big like moral of the story is, you know, don't sleep with every girl. Yeah, like, honestly, like, it's really funny, but it's true. It's like there's one song I grew up with, and for the life of me, I could never remember who the artist was. But the tagline was pretty much like, I got to get a friend already, which is pretty much saying like, I'm sorry, I got a girlfriend already. And no, she would say like in his voice, she would say like, I'm sorry, I got a boyfriend already, because he's trying to get this girl. And every time he sees her, he's trying to chat her up. She would end with like, I'm sorry, I got a boyfriend already. But then at the end of the song, it's reverse. Now she's checking him. It's like, hey, remember me? You know, like, I'm looking good. You're looking good too. Time did us well. Like, it's what you're saying. Like, you know,
Right.
So she's like, "Come on, baby," and he hits her with the, "I'm sorry, I got a girlfriend already," and, you know, and it's just like, and it's just the drama. Then it's drama, you know.
Yeah,
I got the girlfriend already. Well, me tell you, I got that girlfriend already. Like it's like it's just bacchanal foolishness, and I loved, and then I guess I transfer that into my music because I could be, like for Carnival, it's really just dramatic flourishes and loud speaking. Like I just love the drama of it. So I kind of just bring. Trinis are very dramatic. They're very dramatic. Even the way that they talk to you, like big. They love big stories. They love big, like
very loud.
Yeah,
very loud.
But I love it, and I embrace it wholeheartedly, and never listen to people when they say "shut up."
Yes.
So you grew up Pentecostal, and I'm vegan. Could you tell us about your church background and how that influenced you?
Like many, I started singing in church, and I wouldn't have gone to church if it wasn't for my eldest brother, Michael. He used to take me to church when I was like 4, going on nerds, and at the time, my whole family was going to church, but my mom was, she was partying, she was a drinker, she was, and sometimes she would come, but she would come as she was. So she would come in there in a pair of shorts, she would come in there with, maybe a little cleavage. She would go in there, with her makeup and her hair done. And the church that I grew up in was very much, cult. I'm going to say culty. It was on the culty white southern side of Pentecostal church, to the point where they actually had a book that they would sell, with the person who I guess that they looked up to in the thing. And also this old white man, and they used to refer from the book more than the Bible. And they had all these kind of rules that just put down women. And I remember thinking, even as a kid, like, I don't really like this. And as I grew up, I kind of wanted to learn, like, is this really the God that people, the Bible was talking about?
No.
So, but I ended up leaving that church and going to another church and kind of having a whole different experience of what Christianity can look like, But yeah, I started singing. I was really shy as a kid. I was not the one to be like, put him on stage. And like, I was bawling in tears. Like, money couldn't get me to do it. Food, I wasn't doing it. But it was kind of fostered in school and doing like little, those assemblies, and did Robin in the Rain. And from there, kind of just started, went to church and choirs and the youth praise teams and the praise team. And then it helped, of course, train me, because I don't care what they say. The church might love people, but they love to criticize you. So you knew when you were doing a good job, and you knew when you weren't. And it kind of builds a kind of character, but it can also break you down. And I experienced both the loving side of that criticism and the other side that tells you to shut up and you're not made for this, So I kind of took what I learned on both sides, really, and decided, like, okay, well, if I'm going to do R&B, if I'm going to do pop music, if I'm going to create, let me do it the way I want to do it,
right.
So I will, I can't hide my gospel runs. I can't hide. So like, I will give you like a Fantasia moment and just not look back. Like, yeah, it was there. I did that. Yeah, sure, fine.
Yeah. So you speak of a lot of your growing up in your music and your runs in your music as well. You have a new single that you talked about earlier, Carnival. Tell us about it and where people can find it.
Ooh, so you can find my music on Apple, Spotify, all of those platforms. But Carnival in particular is one of the funnest songs I've ever written. It's really inspired by Batman, the animated series. Just like the Jokers, Joker Gang, Harley Quinn, and just how, like, these grown folk would literally band together and wear costumes and clown makeup and like do crime together. But like, and I just remember thinking like, yeah, literally, I remember I watched the whole series again, and I was like, this is kind of giving me how would I write a song about this? And really, it's just like the way I envision it too is even just like, oh, the carnival's in town, and then you go to a carnival as a kid and recognize like it's kind of cool, but then at the same time it's kind of scary, And I just thought the song like just bigger than life, kind of surreal, like welcome, we have all these things in here, and then at the end of the song, technically, I rob you.
Oh,
which is what they would do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know it's funny. Yeah, like was the end? It's like now that the intro is over, it's time to go let them go roam. And if you knew what was good for you, you would give all of your dough. Welcome to the carnival, shall we begin? And it's literally me just being like, all right, now you saw the show. Oh, put the watch in the bag. Put the like, it was just kind of like, it was just like a real fun experiment for me. So it came from a very nerdy side of me, but whenever I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I'm very proud of this.
Well, I love a good robbery story, and I love
through music too.
Yeah. Through music, it's like, oh, that's like that.
Right. But I do want to say thank you, Markus Aurelyus.
Yes.
That's the only way I can do it.
I love that. No, thank you guys so much. You guys are kind. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm 7 years in this journey, and many times I want to give up, but I can't allow myself to give it. I can't accept myself. I have to give it my all until the all is out. So this has been affirming and reaffirming, and just I don't take it lightly. So thank you very much.
It's beautiful, and I hope you'll come back, please.
Of course, new music is coming in the future. I have more Chess to show coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's have a chess show right now. Come on, let's just.
I love it. I love it.
All right, Markus Aurelyus. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Yes. Much love.